Coming up, state officials have opened an investigation into a company that left hundreds of miners without a paycheck last week. And people in 2 counties are cleaning up this morning following weekend flooding. Plus, one community is coming together to help a family that recently lost their home in a fire.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6:01 on Tuesday, July the 9th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News this morning. Well, it's a foggy start to your Tuesday, and that's to be expected, but the question is, are we going to see rain? Let's bring in Brandon to give us a breakdown of what to expect. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning. And kind of like yesterday, some spotty chances. Not everybody will see it, but in the heat of the day, that's usually when we get those pop-up showers and storms like this time of the year, all the days this time of the year. Let's take a look and see what's going on with visibility, though, this morning. And you can see some dense fog, but not as bad as it has been. Just be careful as you head out the door. Live pinpoint Doppler radar. Nice and quiet this morning. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s, so not a whole lot of range there. Ice cream, be a good day to get some because it's going to be hot, 88 degrees, but if you get it, eat it fast because it'll melt fast if you don't. I'll have the rest of that forecast coming up here in a few minutes.
Alrighty, Brandon, thank you. Well, state officials have launched an investigation into a mining company that filed for bankruptcy, leaving hundreds of their employees with paychecks that would not clear. Governor Matt Bevin announced on Monday the Labor Cabinet is investigating the lost wages for miners employed by Black Jewel. Harlan County Judge Executive Dan Mosley also held a meeting for miners yesterday afternoon. WYMT's Emily Bennett was there and has more on the situation.
Harlan County is fighting back.
You deserve to be paid for the work you did for this company.
Judge Executive Dan Mosley held a meeting to help miners across the region.
Until today, we didn't know who to help. We didn't know, we didn't know your name, we didn't know your address, we didn't know your phone number. We didn't know if you had kids that were going to school. We didn't know any of this.
Several booths were set up for miners. They were able to report their bounced checks to the Department of Labor. They were also able to write letters to creditors asking for relief.
You should not have to destroy your credit because of somebody that failed to pay you for the job you did.
Unemployment officials also helped miners, and the Eastern Kentucky Concentrated Employment Program talked about their dislocated worker services.
Right now, I'm more worried about unemployment and insurance for my kids. I've got a daughter who in 2 weeks has to have surgery on her eyes.
Miners were able to report their top 2 priority needs so local organizations can help.
They really laid a hurt on every one of their employees.
Miners are encouraged about the action taking place, but that still does not replace what was lost.
It's affected everything I've got. I mean, my bank account's in the negative $2,000 now because of all this, over one person. Just one person's caused every bit of this.
The miners all agree on one thing.
First and foremost, I want us to get money, the money that's owed to us, honest day's work, honest day's wage.
And legal action is taking place to get that money back. In Harlan County, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, another meeting will be held in Harlan at the old courthouse this morning at 11. That meeting will be for any business, church, nonprofit, or organization that wants to help the miners. Letcher County will be holding a meeting on Wednesday at 1. One will also be held in Hazard on Thursday at 10 and 4. Sykes employees are welcome to attend the meetings here in Hazard. For more information on those meetings, just head on over to WYMT.com. In other news this morning, a flash flood damaged more than 12 homes and left behind a big mess in parts of 2 counties Sunday. The flood hit the KJ community of Knox County. No one there was hurt, but some homes are unlivable now. WYMT's Phil Pendleton talked to several people who say they've seen this kind of devastation before.
We got ready and we walked to the back door and couldn't go nowhere, just water everywhere you looked, and looked back up the road there and it looked like a river just flowing.
Zach Brown says his trailer has water in it from a flash flood that was one of the scariest things he's ever seen.
Well, I'm a grown man, and if somebody tells you water like that won't scare you, they're lying to you.
KJ on Kentucky 225 in southern Knox County has seen this before. 8 years ago, a flash flood turned deadly. This one wasn't as bad, but people say that it's left an unbelievable amount of debris and mud behind. It's bad, but they believe that it could have been a lot worse.
When you sit in that trailer and you feel it moving, any moment you thinking it's going to break loose, it's a bad deal, and you can't get out because water's running so fast you can't wade through it, can't do nothing.
One woman was rescued when a neighbor rushed to her clinging to a tree. No one was hurt, but many have a big mess to clean up and parts of their homes to repair.
Scared here before too long. All that water underneath, we're trying to get all the insulation ripped up right now, is going to ruin the floors.
There will be help coming into this area. The local Red Cross has been activated. There also has been a local state of emergency issued. In Knox County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Officials say rural electric crews are still working to restore power in the area, and road crews are working to repair some of the damaged roadways. Well, flash flooding on Sunday also damaged several homes in Bell County. Judge Executive Albie Brock says several roads along Kentucky Highway 92 East were damaged by the flash flooding. One of those homes was Jonathan Lane's. Lane says the flooding caused breaks in the pavement in front of his home and washed away a bridge to his front door.
It started raining, and about 15 minutes later we had no creek, no bridges, no road, no nothing. It just hit fast.
Judge Executive Albie Brock says crews worked around the clock to repair the roads. Well, after last week's earthquake in Southern California, there have been more than 4,000 aftershocks. Friday's 7.1 magnitude quake hit near Ridgecrest. It was the largest earthquake in California in almost 2 decades. The quake followed a 6.41 on July 4th. At a town hall yesterday, local officials talked about the emotional stress people are facing.
PTSD is a real thing. And we're all suffering from it right now. We have teams coming in that will help us with that.
Experts say aftershocks could last up to 1 year. California is spending more than $16 million to install thousands of quake-detecting sensors, and the governor is urging people to do their part by mapping out emergency escape routes and preparing earthquake kits. Well, a quiet evening turns into a terrifying night. A family of 5 in Leslie County only escaped with their clothes on their backs after a fire Friday night. WYMT's Lauren McCourt talked with the 2 parents who say if they had not smelled smoke when they did, the story could be much worse.
What started out as a normal Friday night for the Baker family.
I was in the living room with my middle child, Cooper. He was watching TV. I was doing a little bit of work.
Quickly turned into a nightmare.
So I was laying there and I was like, that smells smoke.
As Davina and Josh were trying to find where the smoke was coming from, they headed over to check the garage.
And when you opened it up, all you could see was just flames everywhere.
When Josh could not extinguish the fire, he knew they only had little time to escape.
So we knew we had to get the kids out, and so we got our boys out.
And as the family made it to the end of the driveway, they looked back to see a home full of memories up in flames.
And you look across and you see everything that you've built for almost 2 decades just in flames.
Making it out with only minutes to spare.
She had smelled smoke. A minute or 2 minutes later, we might not be here.
The 2 parents say they are just thankful that all 5 of them made it out safely.
We'd look around and we'd see our kids and we're like, they are truly irreplaceable.
While trying to start from scratch can be difficult.
When something devastating like this does strike someone within the community, everyone wants to help.
It helps when a community stands behind you.
People are standing behind you and ready to lift you up and carry you when you just can't walk anymore.
Making rebuilding a little easier. In Leslie County, Lauren McCourt, WYMT Mountain News.
For more information on how you can help out the Baker family, just head on over to our website at WYMT.com. Well, the Wolfe County Search and Rescue Team ended up having to save one of their own last week after the chief lost control while rappelling down a cliff. Chief John May suffered severe burns on his hands and a possible fractured vertebrae. He is recovering from multiple injuries, but is fortunate to be walking again. May says his team is working to avoid this from possibly happening again in the future.
That after-action report that we put out has now been shared, across the country, and we may get some more information from it. So we wanted people to have the opportunity to share thoughts and comments and understand what we were doing.
May is still going to the doctor's appointments for his back, but is expected to make a full recovery.
Well, the fog is dense in some areas this morning, not as bad, at least on our visibility sensors, as it has been. But at Stonecrest Golf Course in Floyd County, yeah, they're pretty fogged in over that way this morning. So again, just be careful. Give yourself some time. Use those low beams. Temperatures anywhere from 66 now. Monticello, Williamsburg, Jonesville, all at 66, along with Logan up to 71 there at Jackson. Got one other 70-degree reading there at Moorhead. Across the state, 74 Paducah, 72 Bowling Green, 69 in Lexington and Charleston, 65 the cool spot up towards Cincinnati. Your planner for today, 88 your forecast time. As we get into the heat of the day this afternoon, a spotty pop-up shower storm could be around, but it's mainly the fog this morning and the heat and humidity throughout the day under those sunny skies. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. It consists of a new study showing more people are putting off their retirement indefinitely. We will tell you why.